Hobby Collab fam. Welcome back to another Sunday Hobby Hang here with me and Devin. Don't forget to like and sub if you haven't done that yet already.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Why are you here? Okay, no, we want you here. Stay here. It is birthday month. It's a month of special stuff. Tomorrow is actually the channel's birthday.
That's
whole
exciting.
years.
That's super exciting.
Yeah. In some ways it feels like it's been longer, and in many ways it's hard to believe that it's
I'll bet on the day-to-day it feels a lot longer.
Yeah, a little bit. And you've been with us like pretty far back.
We oddly enough, even though we're in the same area, we met in Vegas.
Yeah.
In a class.
In a class.
And
we were just bozos taking a class together.
Right. I think the majority of the class happened to all be from the same area.
Yeah.
And you were like, hey, let's do like a little collab type of a thing. And boom, here we are now.
Yeah. That's right, because it was the Vegas right before we started the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
I think you guys had just kind of started it, and we kind of worked on it. Like, no, it was like a few months later that we were like, yeah, let's do the first thing. Let's do weathering. It was like, great. God. I love it.
Yes. Lookbacks. I love birthday month.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're starting with that. There's going to be some like fun stuff happening this month. We tinkered around with a little bit on the AOS game yesterday. Today, what are we working on? Devin is here to help me out. He's going to... Sorry, wrong button, Meg. He's gonna help me paint my Aggradons. Yeah, I haven't done them yet, and I need them because this like Scourge of Gyran new AOS season is like it really beefs up the Carnosaurs.
Okay.
And they pair really well with the Lancers, so I need to have some freaking Lancers. So yeah, that's.
Look at the pretty
Let me fix
models.
the camera and work on the camera a little bit.
Wow.
But yeah.
So Meg and I talked.
This is what I need to align with.
Yeah, Meg and I talked last time off camera, and she was talking about wanting to improve her painting game and stuff, and was talking about doing like the competition stuff, and that like don't have a lot of time, but I want to work on getting better at the various particulars. And I said, well, why don't we do like a 2 or 3 part series where we kind of do like a private coaching type deal, although it's not completely private.
I know.
But we just kind of walk through a simple model and really just dive into how we can make things look just a little bit better, a little bit cleaner, a little bit sharper, whatever you're kind of wanting to focus on. So like really this is all about you and what you're trying what you're trying to kind of achieve. And luckily we have a fairly simple model in the sense that there's not a whole lot going on, but it's still got a lot of like intricacies involved and stuff. And so we're gonna kind of tackle through all of this, and we're gonna be painting a lot of scales.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things I love about Seraphon in general, but this this kit and the Carnosaur kit, like there's not a lot of shit on them.
Yeah.
I just want to paint a dinosaur, so that's pretty much what this is.
And I think you're going to achieve that, right?
Yeah.
So like the end goal.
This was my approach the first go around. I'm really interested in seeing how we do the scales.
Yeah, for sure. So this is basically the end goal then, is we kind of want them to have a similar, not the same, but a similar type of effect where we've got these little transitions and things like that. I love, by the way, that you have that little bounce light. It's très magnifique. It's great. But yeah, so what we're just gonna kind of do is we're just gonna send it. And we're just gonna have some fun and paint some scale things. Word of caution: the last thing that I painted that had this amount of scales on it was a maw crusher.
Okay.
Years ago.
The big like cabbage.
The big cabbage. Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I swore to myself that I would never paint those scales ever again because, woof, there was so many scales.
Yeah,
but
and you probably hand paint each one by one, right?
I did. Yeah, I highlighted each scale individually like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Right. So I think I've decompressed from that after last 5 years ago. I think it was, and let's go ahead and rock it.
Okay. Cool.
So, what is your particular goal with all of this?
What is my goal?
Yeah, I'm doing private coaching, so I'm gonna ask the questions.
So if you look at like I didn't bring out all of my models, but I brought out like a sampling of models from this army. I kind of just want everything to look very unique. Like color-wise, I'm like, let's just pick a color and go with it.
Yeah.
You can tell with like my Carnosaurs, they're all wildly different. within like each unit, I have some uniformity.
Sure.
And then I want to try to have little motifs that unify it all together. So that's like the gold accents are always the same.
Right,
the
right.
turquoise accents are always the same, the bases.
Which, by the way, I love. It's one of my favorite colors. It's fantastic.
This purple, pink, yellow triad that you
Mm-hmm.
see here, that shows up a few times across my army.
Sure, sure.
So little things like that. I want to, specifically with the Aggradons, I want to match this sort of look where it's the underside is like got the deep color and the like
The top
the
side's a little bit
recesses have the
brighter.
color, but the top, has
yeah.
that white.
Yeah. So we're essentially going to be doing a lot of quick dry brushing with glazing and washing, and we'll incorporate all of those different filters to just kind of start hitting it as good as we can. I was actually just saying to Meg off camera that this is absolutely not how I would approach it, but that's okay. We're gonna
you're
figure it out.
dealing with it.
That's the point. You throw me curveballs. Okay. And then the next question that I have is. I always like to ask people this, put people on the spot, is like, what are you trying to get out of this?
Am I trying
From
to
a
get
hobby
out of it?
perspective or from a growth perspective out of all of these sessions?
I
want somebody to paint my stuff for me.
I know. Will you
that
just
doesn't count.
Paint my stuff? No. So I've gotten used to like kind of blowing through these a bit faster because, it's an army. And so that's sort of what one has to do, I guess. But since these, my goal with the Carnosaur was like, get it done quick, make it look cool, play with different colors. My goal with these is to just like really make the scales pop.
Okay.
Like what you're saying with your cabbage. You
Yeah.
don't have to do 4 to 5 layers or whatever.
We
But
won't.
I'm like, let's not do that. I want the scales to like be featured. I feel like I've kind of phoned them in so far on a lot of my models.
And that makes sense. They're a very
Yeah.
prominent feature. And you know what? Are these put on oval bases or circular bases?
They're on ovals.
Ovals, okay.
Yeah.
So chances are pretty good, right? This angle that I'm showing right here where the face is, that's that's probably going to be like the prominent area where you're going to be looking at and stuff. So what we'll do is we'll probably just focus on this one little area and we'll put some extra little love and highlights
Okay.
on those. Not worried so much about the back here. We can obviously do as far as we want to on all that kind of stuff. But really we're just going to draw attention to his chest and face,
Okay.
And we'll gonna focus heavily on contrast,
Okay.
right? And so as part of the thing that I do with any type of private coaching is I always want to take a look at people's work to kind of see where we're going
Sure.
at. Now, luckily, we've hobbied enough together. I understand where you're at and with your skills. One of the things.
This one was the first unit I painted out of
No
Seraphon.
kidding.
Yeah. It was a bitch. And then
It looks good though.
Thanks. 2 of them got ran over by a car, so I need to redo them at some point. 2
Wow,
of them.
you play AOS very differently than how I used to
No, with cars.
in the street. So, yeah, one of the things that I will tell you, a little bit of a constructive feedback on
Please.
these, is that these need darker
Chris.
darks.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do, because we've got all these crazy ass, basically panel lining, we're gonna really lean into that kind of panel lining thing that
Okay.
I really like to do with vehicles and weathering and stuff, just to make things stick out just a little bit more. But we're gonna have to take kind of a sensitive approach to this because we are going to like a whitish kind of color, and so we'll just kind of tackle that, as we kind of go.
Okay.
So, what I want to do, so we've already got this base coated red. Now, normally I would actually base coat in like the lightest colors first, just because
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to start with a light and then darken them down than it is the other way around. But we're here now. So I think what we're going to do...
failed.
Failed, it's just a misstep. We're fine. So we've talked about loading up your dry brush, right? Put it on like a wet
Yeah.
part of a paper towel or a rag. And we just want to load our dry brushes so that they're very lightly damp,
Right.
not saturated.
Okay.
So I like sticking my hand in the water because I'm a savage. And I just,
okay.
just basically make like a small little wet spot. Go for it. These cups look gross.
They do look gross. We never wash them.
And nor should you.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But this is kind of what we're wanting we're kind of wanting to feel, right? There's no shine to it. It doesn't look like, if I were to stick my hand in the water and show on camera, it doesn't have that shine to it. But we want it to feel cool.
You can feel it, yeah.
Not damp, right? There's a big distinction there. We want it to feel cool when we like test it on our skin and stuff.
Okay.
All right? Because if we start having it wet, we're no longer dry brushing, and what are we doing here? So one of the things that I want to do is I kind of want to do a little bit of reverse engineering on this thing. So I'm gonna take this rock gray. We're gonna give it a good shake, and because we're on this red, do you remember what red this is approximately?
No.
Like in this red family? All right, then we're just gonna send
I think it was like, honestly, it was an ink. It was
Okay.
It was something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we're going to kind of reverse engineer
Which
this.
family? I don't know. The red family.
Oh, Meg. All right. So what I'm gonna do is just take this, I don't know, this brick red and this rock gray.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to lean a heck of a lot more into, yeah, you're right. I don't play games.
It's like, get me away from this girl.
What I'm going to do, and I'll show this on camera. So here's my colors, right? So I'm going to lean a lot more into this gray because we're wanting this to be light.
You guys are actually going to learn something today.
Don't, it's too high of praise. See how much red I'm putting into this? But because red has a higher luminosity than this does, ooh, fancy art word, it's going to dominate this color. And so we're going to kind of make this like grayish powdery pink, and we're just going to kind of eyeball this, all right?
I love that. That's how I paint.
Bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, we need bigger puddle because we're going to be tapping into this quite a bit.
All right, I'm just going to ruin
Yeah.
my initial pile of paint.
We're good. That paint is meant to be loved. It's meant to be used.
Right.
Use your paints. People that put those tiny little drops and then they say, well, my palette dries out too quickly. I'm like, well, you're adding
That's
a microscopic amount of
That's
paint.
me. That's not me.
No, never.
I don't do
never.
that. Molecule, thank you for the super chat.
Calibrate, yes.
You want US to calibrate based off of feeling cool?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you don't, you're not cool. All right.
Yeah, Molecule.
So this is
Thanks
kind
for
of
the party lights.
This is kind of, yeah. Oh, I forgot. I normally do that little party thing.
I know, you're so
I'm
fun
off
with
today.
it.
Not, yeah, us, not the U.S. Jesus.
Oh, us.
I understood it. He was putting emphasis on the word.
I was like,
It's not saying the country.
why are we
All right.
we going there, Molecule? Okay.
All right. So we're just going to kind of mix something. So it's just this like, I don't know, grayish
Rose?
kind of rosy.
Gray
Yeah,
rose,
rosy pink.
Oh my gosh, look at all these super chats all of a sudden. Okay. Holy crap.
My family. Oh, okay. We got Vin Diesel in the house here. Family. It's all about family. All right. So this might be a little bit too big of a brush for this boy.
For dry brushing?
Maybe. You know what? I'm going to send it. We're going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to load it up, right?
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people like to do the dry brushing not on a wet palette. I love it because it has moisture in it.
Yeah.
So
that's why...
it keeps the thing more alive and active. More party life, baby. So I mean, I'm just gonna kind of throw caution to the wind.
Okay.
I'm gonna test it out, see how it is. We want it to be fairly heavy. We don't necessarily want it to be really, really light because this is just our first layers.
I'm going to watch you.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I guess
Look
I'll
at
just
this.
watch
On the
you
screen.
there.
Yeah, you can watch right on the
I'll
screen.
just watch you like everyone
It's
else.
a little bit better of a view.
I suck at dry brushing. So I'm really excited to do this.
Fun. This is why I always like to put a little bit of water into it, right? Because, all right, question for the class. How does a brush work? Just any old brush. How does it work?
No, stop. I don't know. Capillary action.
Oh,
Like
okay.
we're
Ding,
talking
ding,
about. Is that what
ding.
we're
Can we
talking
have a
about?
little buzzer? We'll put it in post. So yes, capillary action. What basically that means is that it requires some sort of thing to deliver the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And in this case, we're using water to deliver the paint. All right. And the way that usually works, like a round is a really good one to look at, right? Something like a little pointy brush, is that the more you press down, the more that capillary action pushes the water or the whatever that thing is to deliver the paint out. If we are taking a completely dry brush, like I pulled out this brush, I have not put any water into it, and I start painting with it like this, you know what we're doing? We're finger painting. We're basically smearing and pushing painting here.
Okay.
And what's going to happen is you're going to allow the paint to dry in here more and more and more, and then you're going to go, I need to apply more paint. And you keep applying paint, and now you're putting lipstick on a pig, right? So we want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success. Why would a dry brush be any different?
That makes sense.
So loading a small amount of moisture into it is going to help with all this. And so then working on a wet palette, I work on a dry palette, by the way. There's no problem with this. Working on a wet palette, though, just constantly infuses a little bit of moisture in all of this. And then tiny circles. Tiny circles really helps a lot. So for big, broad strokes, I'm going to hold it very loose.
Let me see how much paint is on your brush. Okay.
Yeah, like...
Nothing.
That's actually not enough.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about what we're wanting.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Oh, I see. So you you still do it on the paper.
Oh yeah, I'll do it on my skin as I'm a savage, and I'm just gonna do very quick, easy dry brushing. And here's the thing: it's not just back and forth. It's little circles like this, and the tighter and tighter they go. If you look at on the camera like this, right? It looks like it's up and down, but I'm actually doing it in little tiny like ellipses. Yeah. Right? And that to me gives a much better effect. And it hides those little like scriggle scraggle marks that people don't like dry brushing with. Right. Because if you're applying paint in one direction, like back and forth, you're going to see them. But if you apply back and forth, do little circles and move it all around, it is all in the wrist. It is all in the wrist. And you can minimize those. Now, again, it's dry brushing. You're going to see some things sometimes. Yeah. But here's the best part. I have not loaded my brush anymore, right? I'm just dipping it into my little wet spot on here. And now I can kind of come in here under some areas and I can feather it down, okay? There's a lot of paint on this dry brush, which is why having like a dampening pad. If you've ever seen Artist Opus at any convention or even on their YouTube channel and stuff, right? Byron is a wizard with that stuff, and he'll show that he uses that dampening pad to basically reactivate a lot of the paint that's already in here, because like I said, we don't want to create a big chunk of dried paint. Right. That's the main thing that we don't want to do, and we just want to have fun with it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not fucking this up. That's great.
Yeah.
This actually,
I don't believe you can.
It's the way, like it still looks kind of red is sort of why I like to start with the like a dark undercoat, because I like how it kind of comes through.
And I think that's totally valid. That's just not how I would attack it, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. We're gonna just, throw it to the wall.
I know it's not a big deal. I'm telling them. Okay. This might be, we're gonna do this level on both sides, right? Yep. Is this a good point to do a couple of news items?
Well, we do have to hit the news. Let me just finish this back to the tail, and then I'll put on my serious pants.
Yeah, newscaster Devin over here.
This just in.
Anchor Devin.
I actually did learn how to read from a teleprompter in school.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh my gosh.
I hated it.
Oh.
It was really hard.
It seems like it would be hard because you have to keep up and...
Well, they actually adjust that scrolling to how you read it. It's more about you're talking to an empty camera, right?
Oh, and like what I'm doing right now.
Right, exactly. But you're not actually at the camera. You're slightly below it. And you have to make sure that you keep all of those like facial expressions to a minimum and stuff like that. And I was like, I did not have fun with this.
Yeah.
All right. And another thing too is you can stipple too. Right? Is just get a fairly decent layer and just stipple in some areas. We want that red to show through. So we don't need to worry. We don't want to go too heavy. I'm doing pretty light, like you can kind of see. I'm using just a couple of fingers to just stipple in there, because we do want that red to be in the those recesses and stuff. All right.
Okay. Are we ready for some news?
Yes.
Okay.
The serious pants.
News. I'm going to keep on dry brushing away. Here we go. We're here for the news. Number one, we did talk about this a little bit. We mentioned it at the start, but it is birthday month. Two years. Tomorrow is 2 years.
Crazy.
So you guys may not believe me, right? Because like our first stream was not on the 23rd. The 23rd was when we signed everything.
Ah.
Yeah. But our first stream was like July 3rd or something like that.
Oh.
I actually can't remember.
So you're just basically saying we're going to have a birthday month in June and a birthday month in July.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I like it.
End of June. Yeah, so get ready for some extra segments. We'll kick off today with a fan look back segment later
memory
on.
lane.
Yeah, I love this shit. I love going down memory lane. I'm so nostalgic. Yeah, so release the papers. I mean, just go look it up, dude. I don't know. I'm sure this is like public knowledge somewhere, Polly. In fact, we should get to the next meme, which is about Polly. I'm pretty sure if I did it right. Yeah, Polly.
I loved these memes. Looking through.
Oh yeah,
we're
doing meme of the year later on. Yeah.
There were
So
I don't know like 100.
There's so many memes. This community's crazy.
Oh,
funny.
it was insane, and I was like, how can I look through all of these? And
you can't.
Everyone in the like the admin chat was bullying me that like it's got to be done. I was like, I got work to do. I'm at work.
Everyone needs to do that.
Yeah, I was like,
everyone.
I'm like, I'm at work.
I'm at work.
Yeah, so I literally closed my office door to pretend that I was in a meeting. Like, okay, let's just go. Let's finish this out. All right, I like these.
Devin is like terrified.
Yeah,
What's the hobby collab
please
gonna
don't
do to
bully
me?
me.
Yeah, you ever run a server before?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Don't do it. You'll get a Polly in there who just pops up all the time and it's causing problems left and right.
I mean, I teach classes and I specifically ask for trolls and things
Do you
like
have
that.
Do you have a Polly in your classes?
Yes, because if I
have
don't,
like a love-hate relationship.
yeah, because if I don't, it's me.
It's you causing your own problems.
Oh yeah. I usually tell people I don't like quiet classes, so I'll be forced to talk and make an ass out of myself.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, so
I love that.
That's one of the hardships of running a channel, is dealing with Polly. Yeah, we've been trying to figure out ways to make more money. You know, like trying to in clever ways, not like just beg people for money. So we've been exploring some options. Nobody listens to me though, of course.
I mean, very obvious. You are the imposter.
More memes.
You're the imposter
will save
here.
us.
So
I'm like all about that channel deep lore and like inside jokes. I'm like, I'm gonna tell everyone the inside jokes so they'll laugh with us, which probably isn't the right way to do it.
It doesn't become an inside joke anymore, right?
Okay.
It's an outside joke.
It's an inside joke to everybody who's cool and hangs out with us.
There we go.
I guess.
I like it. I dig it.
Yeah.
These are some of my favorite memes. I love those.
Yeah, you should
kick someone out the door.
You should tell Soy that because Soy loves when people like his memes. Guys, this was a short news week. There wasn't a whole lot to report on.
Wait, that's it?
We got one left.
Oh.
And this is meme of the week. Liberty.
Everything
we got
wrong.
We got wrong everything. Like I was cracking
up.
up.
Oh my gosh, is that Saddam Hussein?
Yes. So I don't know if you're aware, Devin, but AOS launched season.
I saw that
the
the
new
season 3 or
Guy
whatever.
Ran, or 4, but season Guy Ran, whatever. And
Were you guys making a bunch of predictions that just fell flat?
I mean, I wasn't. No, this said Liberty, Polly. Sorry, it was a remix. So Liberty got it. Anyways, Zach and Saray have an AOS talk show.
Yeah.
So that's every Friday now, right after Journeys. Don't forget Journeys. And they made a lot of predictions and like talked about the info we got, like here's how they're assessing it. Then we played 20 games, and it's like, oh, okay, now let's go back and go back on some of the things we said. So that's what this was about. Saddam Hussein. So have you ever seen Three Kings?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm gonna call it a comedy. It's like a dark comedy.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Iraq war comedy, but also like people die because it's war and it's like.
Well, that's
serious.
where the dark
That's
comes
the dark
in.
stuff. I know. Like I had to argue with people. Okay, Polly, then it's you. God, I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Maybe if you'd put it in the right place. All right.
They bully you. You're the owner of the channel.
That's what I'm saying. I am innocent. This is all them. I didn't do anything.
I'm gonna skip ahead and do
no
some
worries.
TV magic and
move on.
make a wash. No, we're
Okay.
good. We're good. But if this is a slow news week, get it together, guys. I want to see more of this because we're gonna do another one of these to finish out these lizard folk, and I want triple.
Yeah.
All right, make it happen. Triple.
Anyway, with the movie, what they're trying to do, it's George Clooney and Ice Cube and Mark Wahlberg.
Oh gosh.
And they're trying to find Saddam's gold. And so there's a battle tactic
Oh, I
where you're
remember.
hunting like people who have your treasure. And so
Right.
they call that the hunt for Saddam's gold.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Anyways, there's meme of the week. It goes
Also
to Liberty
very
or
timely.
Polly or nobody. I don't know. Who cares? So here we go. Back to Devin. What Devin's doing. Thanks for tuning into the news. And
Yeah, what am I
let's
doing?
catch up on super chats really quick before Devin tells us what's happening. Chris, lab mandrel for 18 months. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Devin, we need you to get you to play a game of AOS on stream. They can teach you. It's true.
I've actually mentioned that I want to do it.
You need an army, right?
I do. One, I need an army. Two, I need to be an adult and schedule and parse out my time correctly. So every time I'm thinking, yeah, I could do that, and then I go, wait a second, I got this, and this.
I have a life.
Oh shoot, I vastly overestimated the amount of time I have. 24 hours goes by pretty quickly. Oh, more lights.
It really does. Yeah, I know. We have so much catching up to do. Soups, I love my paints, but my family, they just don't understand.
It seems like you've
I'm
got a hard
assuming-
decision to make.
Is this like a Fast and the Furious reference? I didn't really watch that.
I watched up to Fast and Furious 3.
Did you really?
By then, I was like, this is getting a little nuts.
I'm not into
and then
this.
now I think they're on 10.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, I don't know.
I don't
get the joke.
I saw a trailer where they were in space.
Shut up, really?
Oh, yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. And I went, what the hell is this?
They did a space episode?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it? Oh, thanks. You made me awash and everything.
Yeah. So,
You're a real American hero, Devin.
we're going to go hunt for Saddam. It's a very timely reference, by the way.
Yeah. We're going to go hunt for Saddam.
Yeah. So what I did is I just took a little bit of this purple. I took some Druchii Violet, mixed with a little bit of a red ink. Ooh.
Yeah. Should we keep catching up?
Devin.
Or
Yeah, let's
should we get
do
to it
that.
in a minute?
Well, I just want to tell you that
Yeah,
I
let's
made
do
this.
this.
I made this right here. I just used a little bit of a red wash
Okay.
and a purple wash. I might influence a little bit more purple, and we'll do a little bit of a recess shade before we start applying the next step. But yeah, let's do some catch up.
Oh, okay. This will
Rudy.
only take a little bit. Molecule, great meme, Liberty, awesome work. 'Cause who knows who that meme belongs to? I'll give it to Thunder because he's younger. How about that?
I like it.
How about I do that? Rudy sent 5 Hobby Club gift memberships.
What? That's
Thanks,
super
Rudy.
generous.
That's so sweet of you. I'm glad you're having your day off. Right? You're not on a call right now. Hey, Hobby Club fam. Devin, my apologies for missing your lessons due to my location, and thanks for helping the Hobby Club fam.
Oh.
If you were to work on a terrain piece that is at the same level of your minis, what techniques do you alter or use?
Ooh.
And
That's a fantastic. I get people asking me about terrain all the time, but they say, how do I get this done so that I can be done with this?
Yeah.
Right? So changing that a little bit to more of that, like, I want this to be really, really cool and effective and stuff. Can you scroll back up so I can reread it?
Yeah.
At the same level. So first off, I would never paint a piece of terrain to the same level.
Yeah.
I don't find them that interesting by comparison. So that's kind of my first thing. But if I were to do that, honestly, a lot of the techniques that I use and that I've showcased on here, I would use for terrain. I would use for those big pieces, right? It's all about scaling up appropriately. And so doing a lot of the dry brushing that we do here, I incorporate my airbrush a lot more in my day-to-day workflow because one, it's a little bit faster. Two, it naturally has like a transparency to it that I can get some really cool, interesting effects with it much faster than I can with a brush. I can do it with the brush, but I want to be a little bit faster because I want to get to the good part. But to kind of, in a roundabout way, answer this question, it is really all about time. It's about how much you're willing to invest on a lot of these. But the main techniques that I would do, it'd be a lot of dry brushing and stippling. I love texture.
Yeah.
So stippling in texture and things like that. And then using the airbrush to soften certain areas down and, add a little extra color smuggling and integration and stuff like that. And then honestly, oil washing and pin washing and things like that. You don't have to use an oil. You can do inks and you can do washes and things like that. The oil washes and enamels, they just tend to work a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But those are the types of things that I would do.
Okay.
And it is about time, right?
Yeah.
It's about how much you're willing to invest in the thing.
And Zach always makes a point, like, the terrain should not overshadow
That's
yes. the models. So it's okay for you not to.
Right.
It's not as important anyway.
Unless I'm doing,
playing.
if it's part of my display, like I'm doing like a Golden Demon piece and I've got a piece of that terrain in there,
Right.
that's a different story. But I still use the dry brushing and stippling, the pin washing and all.
At least to get started.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I would rather invest an hour into the thing and go, all right, cool, I'm liking this direction. Let's go ahead and spend another dozen onto this thing. Then spend a dozen hours and then going, I hate this.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm a very big proponent of let's start broad. All right, next step, we're going to mix in a little bit more of that rock gray.
Okay.
So it's going to kind of look like this. You can kind of see the comparison here. And what we're going to do with this one, another dry brushing.
Okay.
We're going to be a little bit softer with this one, though. And we're going to be a little bit more concerted. So as we get back towards the tail, maybe we do a lighter touch than we do at the front. Let's test this out. And then this is still not quite white.
Yeah.
We'll start smuggling in some white in here pretty soon. But I will stipple in. One of the things that I've found is stippling tends to give you a greater color presence.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because you're forcing and you're pushing it down, right? So stippling more towards the face, right? We get that greater color presence like this.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't even touched over here. And then what I'll do is I'll unload the brush just a little bit.
Man,
and I'll start dry brushing.
You're way less conservative than I am. I get nervous.
Don't worry about it. It's just paint.
I know.
It's meant to be loved. It's meant to be enjoyed. We want to highlight these most prominent areas. So we're talking the face, the chest, maybe his nice little badonkadonk in the back here. But the main thing is just we want to have fun. We want to be effective in tiny circles. Tiny circles.
Rudy was curious what army you would want to play if you were to play AOS.
So I just saw that new Death Rattle box.
Oh, okay.
Holy cow, they look awesome.
Yeah.
So I've done enough commissions with armies. I've played armies enough to know that the battle line stuff, I just kind of want it to be done with. So it's as simple as possible. So no offense, I would never play Seraphon.
Yeah, sure.
Because holy cow, there's so much going on. But you got bones and you got rusty metal. Like, what's not to love about that, right? So I could pretty
Devin and I are like polar opposites.
It's okay. You're allowed to be wrong. It's fine.
I'm like, those are the two things I hate the most.
But I like those would be the really the coolest things to do very quickly. That's the main thing.
Getting it done quick is important for sure.
Especially when you're painting, I don't know, 20 to 40 skeleton. But I really like the Death Rattle. I really do like the Bone Reapers. Those guys are pretty neat.
I remember you saying that. Yeah, that you were interested in Bone Reapers. You just like bones, it sounds like.
Well, it's more of that, like, if the possibility is there to paint so many things, I want it to be simple. And they've got a really cool aesthetic to me. Oh, Paul, you're a jokester. No, not at all. I would do the hero. What's his name?
That dumbass Teclis.
Teclis. Yeah, I'd do him. That's about it. I would actually do.
Only a fool would do that.
Oh, I've done it. I would do a non-metallic metal with true metallics.
Oh, okay.
Right, because it's easy. It's faster to get that kind of desired effect and such.
Thanks, Polly.
Would I wake up every morning at 4 every?
My God.
Would I wake up at 4 every morning
Polly,
to NMM a whole?
Leave me alone.
No, I wouldn't.
This is what I'm
Next question.
doing. No, I wouldn't. Like, it's just very, like, easy to answer these.
Yeah.
Because who would do that in their right mind?
I would do that for a Warcry band, a kill team. Actually, the what are they called? The Bone Reaper squad that has like big dude with big axe and he's got 4 little minions with him.
Ask Polly.
I don't know. There's some hero thing, and they're all non-metallic metal, but they all have a sword, a spear.
Yeah.
You know, and that's about it.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing with my Lumineth. That's Journeys.
You're doing NMM? Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. I'm waking up I wake up at 4 to get ready for my 6 a.m. show. So I'm a diva. I take a while.
That's a decision.
Fucking dumb, right?
I'm not going to say that. It's just a decision.
Oh my God, look at what you're doing. Okay, sorry. What are we on right now?
So
Did I
now,
like miss a step?
Nope.
Okay,
I just did it. I want to get ahead.
Okay.
It's
I was like,
TV
I
Magic.
looked and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so good.
Yeah. It's called TV Magic. It's like I got one in the oven. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this. What is this called? White gray to the mix. And we're just bumping up the value in here.
Oh, right. I need to add. Sorry. Did you bump up already, or you're doing that now?
I'm doing that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you're good. You're not behind. And now this is going to exclusively be in our shoulders and head.
Okay.
Right. And
what you did the wash already, which
Nope,
I did
not
not
yet.
do. You didn't. Okay.
Nope, not yet.
Your dry brushing just looks so good.
Thank you. Come on, hold on. That looks pretty damn good.
All right.
I'm being a little bit heavier with it.
I know.
That's okay. We're
I
gonna
get nervous.
this wash step is that filter is gonna kind of level playing field. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. This is looking good.
That's fair.
And besides, they're aminals, right? Aminals
They
look
can
different.
look different. It's fine. Yeah.
We ain't nothing but mammals. Well, these guys aren't, but you get what I mean.
Yeah,
so
rude.
I'm gonna stipple, especially towards that top and the face. Let's get this guy's ugly mug. Let me get him on camera. I'm going to stipple. And this is where we kind of want to be a little bit more selective with where we're doing things. Because again, we want to draw focus up towards the top. And we want to still be lighter at the top of the ridges. So what I might do is I might take it like this. Get this on camera. There we go. And I might just straight down the middle like this and just very lightly tip tap. Patented technique called the tip tap. I'll turn it around. We'll tip tap some more. And this is the kind of the back of the model, so I might just miss a couple little spots here and there. No biggie. No biggie smalls.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Liberty, your meme won best meme of the week. I hope you go back and check that out. I forgot to dry brush it off.
I do have one in the oven.
Oh. Wait, really?
No.
I'm like, tell me about
because
this.
I was saying like movie magic, right? Luckily I have one prepared right here. One of my favorite comedy bits, it's an old bit from Brian Regan, where he talked about he would love to see a more realistic cooking show, where he just says, or he says that like, I've already got one already ready or whatever. And he says something to the effect of like, tune in next week while I dig around in this drawer for 45 minutes looking for the can opener, only to realize that I forgot something at the store. That's much more like what cooking is.
Or like doing any type of home DIY project with Home Depot.
Story time. Last night my dad, we got my dad a truck bed extender for his new truck. It's one of those little flip out things so that you can keep the tailgate open and it still stays contained. And so I said, I'll install it for you. And it says on the instructions things between 15 to 30 minutes to install. It took me 3.5 hours because it was like a Google Translate from Chinese or something like that. And I had to run back and forth to the hardware store a couple of different times, cursing up like a freaking storm the entire time. My dad coming out and being like, do you need any help? I was like, no, just go away. Sorry.
My dad, will go to Home Depot at least like 3 or 4 times when he's doing anything. Kind of, I guess that's just like a thing. Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. Just happens to be. All right, where are you at? Let's brush this down. Let's see this thing.
I did some
nice
brighter spots.
Nope, perfect. That's what we want.
Great.
I actually think I like yours a little bit better.
Oh, he's just saying that.
No. I'm being for true. You're letting the red show up a little bit more, which is great.
But I don't have to.
This is going to be a bit of an equalizer step. So I'm going to add a little bit more water.
Thanks for the hearts. Okay.
To your wash, and we're going to do a little filter step. So this is kind of a step where we're going to do a wash, right? And we're going to have to let this dry. Okay. So if we want to move on to the next thing, this would be like a really good opportunity to do so.
Because we have a game to play after we do our, we'll do the wash and then we'll get to a game.
So I typically like to use like a wash brush or whatever. I like this little filbert because it's heavy. It's got like a heavy belly, but it's not, I don't have to worry about the tip or anything like that because it's a synthetic.
Yeah.
I will typically load, actually I'll show this on camera.
Yeah.
I'll take the brush and I will load, I'll just stick about halfway in with water. I don't rinse this off. I apply this into the wash because I'm starting with a much thinner base. And this is all I'm going to do is just apply a little bit of a wash. I might do that a couple times.
I keep I can look up here. Okay.
So all right, and so this is
halfway in.
Yeah, but what you're doing is you're just loading with some water, so you're naturally going to be thinning it down a touch.
Right.
We don't need to use it straight direct out of the pot if we don't want. Now this is going to tint everything, FYI.
Okay.
All right? And you're going to say, no!
Make it stop.
But we're going to go back to that previous step.
Right.
And we'll reinforce a lot of that stuff. And we'll rock it. But yours has a lot more of that red presence.
Right. So
I lost the plot a little bit on this.
No, you're good.
That's okay.
You're right. Like I want them to have
there's some variation.
Variation
for
sure. Yeah.
To answer your question, Rudy, it is more of a tint/glaze. All right. Let's do a little quiz here for everybody. And Meg, since you are the victim here.
Okay.
What's the difference between a filter, a glaze, and a wash?
Well, wash, I think of using a wash for like recesses specifically.
Okay.
That could just be the way I don't know, who cares? That's how I think of a wash. A filter is like you're taking a color and you're just sort of applying it blanket across what you've been working on to give it an overall tint.
Okay. And then a glaze?
Glaze is like a series of transitions between colors. This is how I think of the words.
Okay.
To smooth them out.
All of those are right.
Well, they're all the same.
However, can you not put that wash over everything?
You can, yeah. But then are you trying to fucking trip me up?
I'm a teacher!
God damn it. Ew,
so,
Jesus.
All right, moving on. So the real thing to think about is like, as much as I really love what GW does, I think that this is a bit of a disservice when we see the shade/wash formulation, because it's less about the actual consistency and it's more about the application, okay? So you can glaze with a wash, you can wash with a glaze, and you can filter with a wash or a glaze as well. So a lot of it comes down to the actual application. By the way, if you find out that there's a spot that's a little too heavy, just go back in with a fully loaded brush of water.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll just do this, and we'll just kind of move it around. We'll move and scoot it. So in to kind of like build on that thing that Rudy was asking is a glaze has to do with more control, right? Okay. You can use a glaze to smooth out transitions and things like that, absolutely. But you can also do a glaze to, like, if you wanted to put a little bit of rosiness into someone's cheeks, right? Because you're just doing a very light, concerted effort, and all of them tend to be very thin, relatively transparent, right? But they all operate depending upon what it is you're trying to achieve a little differently. So then, with a wash, we want it to a concerted effort to put it into the recesses.
Yeah.
So what we're doing here is both a wash and a filter. Because we've got a lighter base coat, we're putting red on top of it, so it's naturally going to look a little bit more pinkish. But we want it to fill into those recesses. And then then a glaze. We already covered that. Filter, same kind of a concept. It has some more to do with like the actual effort and the application of what you're doing with it.
Yeah. This is like exactly what I was hoping I would achieve. Like the effect that we're getting. Yeah.
Nice. See, I'm a little heavy on this, but that's okay because I'm going to go back and we're going to go say, so pencils down.
Oh, I didn't finish.
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I just want to see. I want to look at work in progress. Cool. This is looking cool. Oh, I can tell you've done this side a lot more. Yeah. So you're being very concerted with this down area, which is great. No, that's great. You're thinking ahead, which is exactly where I want you to be at, right? Is you're not getting through a step and being like, okay, what next? I can see that you're thinking about like, well, I want this effect. How do I do this in this particular way to make my job easier, right? And that's really what we're trying to do is, so last thing, and we'll let these, so finish up and we'll let these dry and I'll just kind of ramble for a minute.
Okay.
Is one of the very first things I ever learned from my very first mentor, Seth. He talked to me about the 4 stages of competency. And so if you think of it like a little grid, you got a little box, right? You've got the unconsciously incompetent. You're doing it really poorly and you don't even know why. That is like, I just picked up the brush yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm just sending it to the wall, right? Then you've got conscious incompetency, meaning you're aware of what you're doing wrong.
You don't care.
And well, that's not that you don't care.
Because I would say that I don't care.
Yeah. Well, there's an element of that. There's an element of that, but that's the next step of like of your growth. Now, this is the dangerous zone. Or this next one. It's the unconsciously competent. All right. You are doing things right, but you don't know why. Right. There's not a problem to live in that area for a time, but if you want to grow in anything, we want to get to that next step, which is being consciously competent.
Okay.
You're doing a thing and you know the reasons why you are doing the thing or why it benefits you to do said thing. Now, you're going to constantly, when you get to a certain point, is bounce back and forth between those 2 bottom tiers. Because if you go, all right, cool, I understand, like for me, I like weathering in vehicles. That's where I'm a little bit more unconscious about those types of things because it's just something that's so second nature. Yeah, right. So I have to constantly push and break that habit and go, okay, how do I push it to a different level, right? So like on my latest little vehicle that I did, I wanted to be very conscious about my growth. So I made it really, 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 really tiny, right? So I had to change up a bunch of stuff and learning and growing. All right. So we're going to go ahead and just get it to a certain level that we like. We got to let it dry, unfortunately.
Yeah.
This is my least favorite part.
Waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm such an impatient painter.
It's annoying. I have a hard time with it too, and I always get those like, like when it starts to dry on the edges, and then I
called coffee standing, and then you
God
tear.
Damn it!
Yeah, coffee standing and tearing. Yeah, absolutely. By the way, I still do that.
Yeah.
Like I'm working on a competition piece right now, and I was like glazing. All right, this is kind of cool. I got the colors that I'm wanting. I got this end thing. All right, and then I was like, let me just do this, and I ripped it all up, and I was just like, and I like threw it away. I'm like, I'm gonna go for a walk.
I'm just gonna paint over this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
annoying.
We're gonna let this dry for a little bit. So if we want to move on to the next.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a discussion. It's not really so much of a
By the way,
quiz.
don't throw away this.
Okay, I won't.
Because we
drink
might
it
need
later.
we might need to use it. Yeah.
We want to.
You're gonna drink it.
Save it for later. Yeah.
It's not. It could be Kool-Aid. Imagination.
We're actually gonna have a discussion, so we can talk through some painting if we want to keep painting at some point. But we always do something silly when Devin's here. It's just a tip.
Just a troll.
Or trying to, is this a hobby supply, whatever. No different today. We're going to play our own version of Fuck, Marry, Kill. Where we renamed it. because, you know, we're a hobby channel.
Gone, overpaid, and supplied?
Yeah. So gone.
Huh.
So, all right. It's kind of like fuck, marry, kill. It's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
different because we're talking about hobby supplies today.
Okay. All right.
So
I'm
these
here
are
for
just
it.
fun little hypotheticals.
Okay.
So gone means this thing doesn't exist, has
Kill.
never existed. Like,
That's the kill.
yeah, that's the kill.
Okay.
Overpaid means it's still around, but you have to pay like 25% above retail all the time, anytime you need it.
That's the fuck?
It's annoying, yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
All
And then marry, we can
be
say is supply. You have
supplied.
an infinite supply for free of this
Okay.
thing. Yeah. I think
Whew.
that's good, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I like
okay.
it.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
I was like, I think this will work for us.
Yeah,
So number
yeah.
one
Adhesives.
is adhesives. So we have Elmer's glue, PVA. I don't know what it's called outside of
White glue.
Yeah, white glue.
Yeah.
Plastic glue, and super glue.
Okay. All right. This is tough because I'm in the camp where I do a lot of resin models, so I use super glue a lot. Actually, as a matter of fact, I probably still have super glue all over my hands. I work with super glue literally with my fingers all the time.
Yeah.
But I kind of I kind of dread using it.
Yeah, it's annoying.
I
agree.
love plastic glue, but I don't work on enough plastic minis
Oh, that's
to
fair.
warrant having it. But like,
That's
I'm
fair.
working on,
I thought about
I'm
that.
building up a little squad that I hopefully want to do for Golden Demon, and I love it. It's so great. You just put a little couple dots, and it's welded, and
Yeah,
you're great. You're
I
good
love
to
it.
go.
I love plastic glue. Like, I would have a really hard time giving up plastic glue.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. But I'm thinking about
Paint
me.
a lot of.
I'm thinking about me
plastic,
though.
yeah.
Like,
No, you'll have a different
it's
answer for me for sure.
It's gonna be super glue for me for the supplied.
Super glue,
And here's
endless supply.
and
Okay.
we're gonna put a caveat here. Specifically, if I could put the gone for anything thin super glue, get it out of my life. Got a little story for you, right? I don't use thin super glue anymore. You shouldn't either. I'm talking to you. All right?
Tell us why.
What
did it do to you?
It burned a hole in my leg.
Oh God! What?
Yeah. So I started out hobbying on a little TV tray. Okay, I didn't have any space. I was watching TV at the time, putting together stuff, and I was always told at the very beginning of my GW days, only use super glue. I don't know why, but you know, a lot of elitist people do that, right? So I'm using super glue, and I'm putting a little drop here, drop there. I'm using that really runny, liquidy stuff.
Yeah.
And like a fool, I had it right here with the cap off, and I had a 100-pound pit bull at the time.
No.
And she came in there and she was asking for pets. I was like, oh, hi. And I bumped, it fell down. It basically landed like this. I didn't notice it. No big deal. And it starts dripping onto my gym shorts.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, I feel this burning sensation
way.
on the top of my thigh. And I was like, what's going on? And I look down and I just see this stream of super glue going down. And it was about this big.
Did it burn through your pants too?
It glued my
glued
shorts
them.
to my...
To your open wound now?
to my leg, and I freaked out. Now, luckily, I was at home.
Yeah.
I freaked out, didn't know what to do, so I yanked my pants off, and it tore a chunk out of my leg. It just ripped any hair that I had there, and a little bit of
God.
skin off of that.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm now running around, going to the bathroom with no pants on, freaking out. Like, this hurts so bad, and I'm putting water on it, doesn't help.
No.
I'm putting hydrogen peroxide on it, doesn't help. So yeah, that can just fuck off for all I care.
Yeah.
So thick super glue only.
Thick super glue
Yes.
for Devin. I'm gonna say my endless supply would be. I think it would be plastic glue, because I work with a lot of plastic. I want plastic glue.
Yeah, that's a hard choice for me.
But that makes sense why you would choose super. Yeah.
Right, just because of what I'm working on now. And the nice thing is that super glue works with plastic models, but plastic glue doesn't work with
Yeah.
resin models, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I love plastic glue, especially
Yeah.
the extra thin Tamiya stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, that's what we use.
It's great.
I think super glue would be my overpay, because I need to have super glue in my life.
Okay, all
And
right.
I feel like I like white glue, like it's super useful for like easy basing and stuff, but you could just use super glue for it if you needed to.
The
It
only
just
thing is,
sucks.
I'm gonna throw this in there,
Go
right?
ahead.
Is that with the super glue doing that way, right? It can fog really easily. So if you accidentally get any type of moisture in there, you're gonna have white crystals everywhere because it's gonna catalyze.
Yeah, I know.
So-
Just cover it with some dirt.
To give you the answer, Done. So I'd probably do supplied super glue. I'd probably do overpaid. I'd probably do plastic glue, and then go on and do PVA.
No more PVA.
Yeah.
Same, both of us.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. You guys, let us know what you're thinking in chat. Stop worrying about what the words mean. Just get over it and have fun with us,
Good
please.
point, Luke, by the way. I've actually stitched together my fingers using super glue because I said, oh, I ripped my finger apart. I don't have insurance. So I glued my fingers together.
Oh my God.
Yep.
All right. Now we're just going insane. Just like basic things for doing hobbying. Cups, brushes, and paint. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and already say gone with the cups because I don't use cups.
Okay.
I use mason jars.
Well, that's not in the spirit of the
Technicality?
question.
Okay. All right, so
but yeah,
a cylindrical,
jar,
a
that could
cylindrical
work.
item
yeah,
then?
Yeah, something that works as a cup.
I'd use a box if I had to. I'd use a
fair,
soda
yeah.
can if I had to.
Right. I mean, we can use a wet palette. I'm like, just have a puddle of water somewhere.
But the next two are particularly cruel.
Kind of need brushes.
All right, so I'm gonna throw this one out there. Supplied brushes.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't have a problem.
Then you don't have to worry about them ever.
Yeah. I mean, every time I go to a convention, I bring a fistful of dollars, literally, and I just slam it on the table and I just say, how much can I buy for this?
Yeah.
And I just fill it up until that money is done.
Yeah.
And then for the paint, I already have a lot of paint as it is, but if I would say it's all gone and I had to overpay on paint, I'd be a lot more selective on what paints that I own and not just be like, oh, I'm just going to get all these things and try them out and stuff. So that's probably my order.
It's doable.
Yeah.
It's doable. Cups, like, you could make something. You could make a vessel out of almost anything.
But if we said
in.
cups is any type of vessel.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know how the rules work.
You set them.
I know.
You set the rules.
I
so
just made them up.
let's just say that the cups is no vessels at all.
No vessels, yeah. Just use a paint pot.
I would
That's fair. Empty out your paint pot.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually not a bad idea. But I was thinking is just get one of these types of rags and just dunk it in water, and then that's how I rinse out my brushes and stuff.
That's fair. Just
if I've got a never-ending supply of brushes, I don't have to worry about ruining them because I'm just.
Well, you could also give up brushes and cut your hair.
No.
I guess.
No. My hair is my fifth best feature. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, this one was pretty easy, but I like being presented with such a broad category.
Yeah.
Do we want to do the next step before we do some more of these? Or
well, how dry are we?
I mean, mine's pretty dry.
You know what? I'm going to send it. Let's just do it. Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay.
So
we'll take a quick break. We'll come back to this.
Yeah. So same thing. We're going to go back to the previous step, but we're going to be a lot more specific about where we're stippling, okay? Because we lost the plot a little bit, at least I did, right? It's not as white anymore.
There it is.
So I want to take that. I might even include a little bit more white here. Kind of see right there. Yeah. Ooh, perfect. Look at that. Symmetry.
Oh, yeah. What a nice overlay.
All right, so I'm going to be very, very slow and controlled with this step. So I'm just going to come in here. And let's just keep that focus point kind of going. And the nice thing is about this too, is we can always come back in with more glazes, more washes, be a little bit more selective. All right, that's a little wet right here, but that's okay. We can even come in there with an airbrush if we wanted to just go some stuff on and smooth certain things out. So that's a little wet on my end, but that's okay. I think I probably could have afforded to let it dry a little bit more, but one of the things, if you're getting real impatient and you notice that it's starting to wet blend on you a little bit, paint with a little bit thicker paint, because thick sticks to thin, nice and easy. So I'm going to apply a little bit more thicker paint, and it'll be a little bit heavier with how I apply it. That way we can kind of rock and roll here. Boop-a-doop.
Yeah, these look really good. I remember when I was doing my trog,
Trog?
Oh, sorry, my troglodon. It's basically a carnosaur, but a different head. I wanted to do something like this, but I don't think I was thinning my stuff down enough to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is know-how, right? You don't know what you don't know, and that's why...
And I don't know a lot.
Same. Same. I just happen to know a little bit more about painting. So yeah, I mean, like it's okay. And I'm a big proponent in self-discovery. For the longest time, especially in this my painting career.
This guy's a professional.
Yeah. I'm a bit stubborn, that's the thing, is that I didn't want to learn from people because I really enjoy discovering it myself and figuring out. But when I started getting to that little itch of like, well, I can actually get that much better, and how do I keep up with these things? I needed professional instruction. And so that's when I started really making a much more concerted effort to get feedback from my peers to, just take a little bit more of a conscious competence role.
Yeah,
right?
That makes sense.
I need more of this.
Okay. I feel like I do well with classes. Like, I need somebody to actually sit and show me what's going on and like, here's what you're doing wrong with your brush, blah, blah, blah. But then after I do that for a while, I'm like, okay, leave me alone.
Let me digest.
I'm going to play with this for a year or two or something.
Yeah,
and then
So
take another class later.
On that same front, lost the plot on that. If you find out that you get a little too heavy, like I did on the tail, it's still pretty active right now. I'm just going to take water, and I'm just going to do like a water wash and just smooth it out and get rid of some of it. So that's a little pro tip.
We need a graphic. Pro tip with Devin.
Have a graphic come and spin it.
Your head,
yeah. I mean, I have friends who they treat conventions like it's their 9 to 5. My friend, her name is Roxana. Roxana took 38 hours of professional instructions at Adepticon.
Okay.
Basically, I saw her twice the entire weekend.
Yeah.
Her husband, I think, also took like 40 or something like that.
Okay.
Like, I think that's incredible. However, not everybody can handle that. Not everybody wants to do that. That is a lot. So I would say take some classes that you're really interested in, and then digest.
Yeah. And I mean, gosh, you're at these things and you have like friends there and stuff, presumably, right? Somebody you like hanging out with. I don't friends. Well, I do, I guess, somehow. Or people who say they're my friends. I like hanging out with them. Like, I don't want to do that much.
Well, that's why I say, like, if you're going to these events and stuff and you really want to take a hobby class, but you also want to enjoy the con or get in gaming, take one class.
Right.
Right? And really just, when you're there for that 4 hours, that 2 hours, that 6 hours, whatever much that is, that's what you're doing. You get your head stuck in on that, and then you go and enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm a proponent in taking notes in that regard.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like, hey, this is that one class from that one artist from overseas or, whatever. Take some notes.
Yeah.
Like, ask them if you can take a recording of it, right? Like a voice recording or whatever. Because, hey, I really want to focus on this particular topic and stuff like that, and I want to reference it later, right? Some might be okay, right, with doing that.
Yeah. Keep painting. I'm going to go back and pick the next one for us to talk about while we work on this.
I'm going to go in and just FYI, I'm going to be just doing some selective glazing here and there to just keep reinforcing where I want the focus to be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. We're not playing Fuck, Marry, Kill. We're not switching it around just for these three, all right? That's not happening. We're still playing Gone, Overpaid, or Supplied. So, sort of different application to these folks. But yeah, let's go for it. You guys in chat, I want to see what you have to say.
So, I've met Vince and Duncan.
I've met none of these people.
I've actually...
Oh, I've met Vince, briefly.
I sung drunk karaoke with Vince.
Oh my God, that's fun.
That was fun.
Okay.
He sung Madonna.
Okay.
And it was incredible. He wore his apron,
oh my God,
shorts, and combat boots. It was great.
What?
Vince is an absolute treasure, and he sang that deadpan. Like, he was completely all in. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I met him briefly, I want to say at a KublaCon or... No, maybe it was Nova. I can't remember. But
probably Nova.
Yeah, not KublaCon. And I was just like, thank you for everything you do. And I didn't want to be like, I'm from the Hobby Collab. I was just like, hey, just saying thanks. And moved on. Yeah, but he was busy talking to people and getting his awards.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't really met any of these people. Zach and Saray did at Adepticon, I think.
They met Duncan?
Talked to all of them, yeah.
Oh, I never got to meet Goobertown. I've watched a few of his different videos. Believe it or not, I'm not a big consumer of YouTube content.
Devin.
Uh-oh.
I never watch YouTube.
Good.
I just don't.
I'm in good company then.
Yeah, it's wild. I was like, these people want to watch this on YouTube. Cool. I can do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch stuff on YouTube.
Yeah. People.
Terrible.
Yeah. Like
Zach's really good about it.
People
Keeps up.
oftentimes go like, "What the hell do you watch then?" I'm like, I kind of don't watch stuff anymore.
I mean, I watch streaming services.
I do that from time to time, but like when I'm painting, I can't have.
When I'm painting, I'm in here with these guys.
Yeah, I can't have. Yeah, it's your fault.
I mean, I like you guys, so it is your fault. Don't be likable. So I'm basing this totally off of vibes.
Vibes.
I would never watch YouTube. I know, terrible, right? I'm gonna say Supplied. I'm gonna say Supplied is Goobertown because I just love his vibe.
Okay.
And he and I he made this video about how he doesn't. How I don't know, you guys, this is so controversial. It was about how 40K, he doesn't like playing 40K or it's not a good game or something like that. I can't remember what exactly he said. But he was like,
I kind of agree with that, by
I just
the
want
way.
to play with my cool looking models and then I put the ones I like on the board and then they get shot because I don't want to put them back here. I want to go play with them and do things with them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's me too. That's me playing Tyranids in 40K and I hated it because the Tau would just shoot me.
Oh yeah, I played Adeptus Mechanicus and I was like, they're like, well, that's not in the meta. And I'm like, but it's a cool robot.
I don't care.
It's
Yeah.
like-
And I'm like,
and I'm proud of it.
And it's like, well, then this just isn't the game for you. And I'm like, you're right. It's not. That's my opinion of it.
Yeah, yeah. I think
I'm sure I respect it. I respect the game. It's good for people who are into that style of play. But
I think it's totally
not
valid.
for me.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I was like, I like this guy. I like Brett. Also,
Yeah.
his channel is named after a real town. So that's kind
No, it isn't.
It is. In Arkansas.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
All right, so
So I'm supplied on Goober.
I'm of two minds on this one for the
Okay.
supplied side. Okay, so like many Warhammer nerds, Duncan was one of my first professional resources that
Yeah.
I ever came up. However, I really like that Vincent is constantly growing and constantly adapting and evolving.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was trying to work out how to do a very specific thing. I think it was something with within his color palette with those purples and teals and turquoises and things like that. And then seeing that years later and how he's kind of evolved and developed is really cool. So I think I'm probably going to have to give the edge to my boy at the hobby cheating.
Okay. So he's your
He's my supplied.
You're supplied. Okay. I think my overpaid. I'm stuck here because, like I said, I don't watch any of these people. So we'll go off of totally arbitrary things. Duncan kind of paved the way for artists to get, we'll say YouTube artists, right? Painters and stuff to be recognized for their work, right? Like
Sure.
I think after he left, Peachy left, I forget who else left, and then they swapped to
What was her name?
Rogue.
Yeah, Rogue Hobbies. I can't remember her name. But yeah.
Yeah, sorry, now I'm blanking on it. Shit. It's not shit.
It's definitely
It'll
not her
come
name.
to me. Or you guys will just tell me.
Yeah.
Luis, thank you. Thugden.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Sugden.
What?
Nothing. And so now they have their own channels and they can build up their own
Well, then Duncan has his own
fan
paint
base.
line.
He has his own paint line. Right. Like I'm like, okay, this
I
guy
appreciate the hustle.
This guy's important. Like he's an important figure, I think, in our hobby.
Yeah, so for me, Duncan is the
So-
overpaid.
That's kind of why I want to put him in overpaid,
Yeah.
which I'm sorry, Vince. You never existed. He's got so many helpful videos
Yeah.
and he gave us shout outs on his channel. But I'm like, I don't know, are you a pioneer? Because I know this guy kind of is. I think. So there we go. That's my list. Terrible.
Yeah, so I put Goobertown in the gone mostly because I have seen one portion of his videos and that's it.
Okay.
I know that he has a custom figure in Loot Studios for his like 3D printing
okay.
things,
That's
and
cool.
that's about it.
Okay.
It's about all I know.
Well,
No offense intended.
we love all you guys. We don't want any of you to be gone. Sorry.
By the way, I'm going in and I'm pin washing things.
Yeah, let's take a
just
look.
Just to get a little bit more definition and stuff. I wanted to make sure. Oh, and I hate those sizes.
You hate all those
I hate
sizes.
all of
Okay,
those.
okay. Those are my primary sizes. Like, I'm sure everybody likes these.
Not me.
Okay.
I'm rocking a 4 right now. So all I'm doing is I'm just going back in and I'm pin washing, right?
Okay.
This is where you want to err on the side of more thinner, right? So I made like another separate section that has a drop in there with a lot more water. So that way it can be more transparent. And then what I'll do is I will, these little transition areas where we want it to go darker, I'll just very lightly glaze down into those areas so that we have a little bit more of a transition, okay?
Okay.
This is an important bit.
Hey, John.
Here's a really fun thing for all y'all, is when we're doing any type of glazing of transitions, we want to know what's in our brush, and we want to paint towards that color. So this red is what's in my brush.
Yeah.
So I would never paint this way because all of the, how does a brush deposit its paint?
Capillary action.
No, well, yes, and as a result,
as
a result, we're gonna do this. Wherever you, there's cat hair here.
Of course, there's cat hair everywhere.
Wherever where you pick up your brush is where the most paint is going to be pooled, right?
Yeah.
That's where the most of it deposits. So knowing that, keeping that in our back pocket, we want to make sure that we are applying in that right area, okay? So all that paint is going to deposit in that particular area, and it's not going we're not going to worry about like, we're going to smooth the transition, and we're not going to worry about contaminating a previous color.
Got it.
That's all. I just wanted to give a quick little update.
No, that's good.
So like this little part on his neck, it's a little ugly. So I'm just going to slowly tint it and kind of glaze it down a little bit. I'll go into his nice little beaky and his arms and stuff, and boop-a-doop. All right, we can go back to that
no worries. Well,
cursed brush sizes.
we can just chat through it. Yeah. So the brush sizes were 0, 0, and 1. I guess
I already know my answer.
Maybe it's not a good. Maybe it's not a good.
Not for me.
Set of choices. Here we go.
Yeah. I already know my supply is 1 because that's the smallest brush I'll go down to.
Okay. Yeah, my endless would be 1 because I beat them up. For some reason, I can keep the smaller brushes.
It's because you don't use them enough.
Well, I don't know if that's true. But yeah, maybe.
Well,
maybe
so like,
why.
all right, let's dive in
I'm
a
like,
little.
oh, I like these brushes because I don't use them.
Yeah, well, let's dive in a little bit, right? The bigger brushes have a bigger belly.
Yeah.
So they've got a bigger reservoir. They can hold more paint. They can paint for longer. And if you've bought a nice brush, whether it's Winsor Newton, Raphael, Artist Opus, they're going to have a pretty damn good point. So they're going to have almost the same type of a point that one of these smaller brushes has. The advantage that these smaller brushes has is that because they've got less of a belly, less of a reservoir, you can get into those smaller, tighter spaces, and you have a lot more control with it. But you have to constantly go back and apply more paint.
Yes, they are obnoxious. Yeah.
So that's why I don't like it, because I'm impatient.
So here's what this would solve, which is sort of funny. Like, I would choose supply of 1. Like endless supply, because you're right. Like, I think that is like one of the best sizes for what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I use them all the time, and it loses its point. I hate them because they're always losing their point. And I'm just like, fuck you, brush. So that's why I end up using the smaller ones, because I don't go out and have a shit ton of these. But so I think I would also. It's funny, like it's the same thing, but I'm like, this is why I like the smaller ones, because they fill in when I need them to.
There's nothing wrong.
I
like,
agree.
For my little tank, did I show you that little tank, the little guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go out and buy a 0 because I didn't have one.
Because you didn't have one.
Yeah, because it was so stinking small that I had to.
Yeah.
And then if I had to do the overpaid, it'd be a 0. And if I had to get real specific with that one, it would be a Winsor Newton 0, the best 0 I've ever owned. And then the Gone with Fire is the 000.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of like, if I have a 1, I don't need a 0, so I'll just overpay for the 000.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Different strokes, I guess.
Yeah.
To me, if I'm having to put paint on my brush, and by the time I get it to the model, it's already dry. I'm going to throw that thing out the window.
It is very annoying.
Yeah, it's
like
so
sometimes
annoying.
I'll put some on my nail, like a puddle of paint so that I don't have to go as far. That helps.
Oh, that's actually really insightful.
I read that somewhere. Probably on a YouTube video.
Well, we're going to trademark it. Yeah.
We came up with that. Us.
Yeah. No, that's actually really smart.
Yeah. Oh, wait. We did this one already. What's happening here?
Adhesives.
Okay, model prep.
Ooh.
A file or emery board, clippers and god hands, and a utility knife.
Okay, so I think god hands are really overrated for most things.
Okay. Well,
I think that they're fantastic for like the gunpla stuff, for
Okay.
people who are doing Gundam with that high precision. I don't want to pay $50 for a set of clippers that I will, by the way, will ruin because I'm a monkey. All right, so, oh man, those are so good. Okay, utility knife has got to be supplied for me.
Okay. Oh, really?
Specifically an X-Acto knife.
Okay.
Right? That's what I use for model scraping. I even use it for sculpting sometimes because they come to a nice point with when they're dull. Mm-hmm. I actually will use it to like fill in things because they're so small and tiny. That is like I got 3 of them in my drawer.
Okay.
So
yeah, we have a bunch too.
That's probably my supplied.
Interesting. Yeah, that for me would be my gone.
Really?
Yeah, I never use knives.
Get out.
I never use knives. I use the clippers. Those would be my endless. Those would be my supply.
So the clippers are the overpaid for me.
Okay.
I have to have them,
Yeah.
but I reach for my knife far more than I do my clippers. So.
Yeah, and then so I use clippers all the time, and the emery boards or files, whatever. Like that's what I
files,
use.
though.
Yeah,
Like,
that's overpaid for me.
I can't not.
They're not that expensive to begin with.
I can't not have a file though. Ugh.
Yeah.
If I had to though, I've gotten to the point where I'm really good. You use the back of your X-Acto knife to do mold line scraping and stuff. So if I had to, I would get rid of the file. Although I love them though. I love them so much.
I mean, I didn't even put the mold line remover tool on this.
That is a great tool.
It's such a good tool
for everything other than mold lines.
Well,
I think it's not very good at doing mold line stuff, but I use it because it's a solid chunk of metal. I use it for prying things. I use it for sculpting. Because it's got that the
files
round.
are for cowards. This is Polly. Go whack-a-mole. Get him out of here.
Gone file, overpaid, knife supply, god hands. All right, I think
file. Okay.
I think god hands is nope. See, I have 3 different set of clippers or nippers as they're called, and they all do different things. And the Tamiya ones that I have they're pretty decent. If I had those as god hands though, I would immediately accidentally break them.
Okay.
I'm a monkey.
A monkey, he says.
Yeah, I'm a monkey.
All right, brush care. That's kind of a weird category, but it was all I could come up with. So soap, any type of
your conditioner or
wet
whatever.
palette, and brush condoms.
You're not the only. I'm not the only one who says that.
No, I think I got it from you.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure, or you or Kat, one of you two. Yeah.
Yeah, I said that once at a hobby night, and people went, "I'm sorry, what?"
What?
I said, "Oh, I'm missing the condoms," and they went like,
You don't want to have baby brushes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Use protection.
Yeah.
All right. Wet palette for sure is supplied.
Yeah.
100%. I've heard controversial opinions on the brush condoms, and that that's the worst thing that you can do on your brush because people aren't taking care of, making sure that they're not splitting their hairs. But I got this nice little brush wallet that everything is nice and neat. So I'd probably say soap would be the overpaid and gone would be the brush condoms.
Yeah.
If I didn't have access to something like this, it'd be the reverse.
That's fair. I was thinking about this too, like the brush condoms. I don't care so much about having them now that I have my brushes. I'm like, whatever. Like you said, I can choose to take better care of them.
Yeah.
But getting the brush from the supplier to the store to your house, I'm like, the brush condom's pretty important for that.
I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
That's a big reason why I actually don't buy nice brushes at a Michael's or at a
because they don't have them.
Well, because people are taking them off and then just shoving them on and then they look like a cactus.
Yeah, that too. So my gone, It might still be brush condoms, yeah.
Yeah, it's a safe bet.
Yeah, because you have to have soap. Like, you can't take care of your brushes without soap, right?
Here's a little thing, though, is that if you get into the habit of being very, very, like, religious about rinsing out your brush, you can avoid that. Now, you're never going to 100% avoid it.
But if
like,
I have my endless supply of ones.
Right. What I'm constantly rinsing, and I'm actually being kind of quiet because I'm typically like, I'm banging it in there and stuff like that. It's patented. So that you can get a lot of that excess paint out, and then I'm constantly refreshing my water. So
I never refresh my water.
yeah, well,
you're like, yeah, I noticed.
You know what it is though is that I mean my jar looks like this too. What I noticed is that I went to a convention, I came back with my water in there, and there was like a nice little layer of filth in there, and I went, yeah, that's gotta change.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
You know, the condoms, I'm done glazing. Oh my gosh.
Why are they all like out of order? I think I got them all then.
That might be it then.
I don't know what's going on here. This doesn't seem right, but that's fine. We can just stop there.
Nice.
We did.
Perfect. I hated all of those decisions.
It was hard. It was hard. Yeah. Party hard. Here we
go.
Where are we at?
Boom, baby.
Look at that. That's
looking
so
pretty
nice.
good. Like you can see those little fades and stuff.
Yeah.
So now it is, like I've said before, seasoned to taste, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go ahead and be done with like the glazing of the little transitions and stuff, so that we can kind of see. I'm gonna switch to a better detail brush.
Okay.
And from here on out, this is now we're now using that same color we used to stipple and dry brush with, but now we're doing it in a more refined way. So pinky out. All right, so now we've got all these scales here, right? So this is where I want to have a pretty good load of paint in here, hence why I'm using a 4. And I want to prep this right. So I often will load up my brush, unload my brush, test it out, load my brush up, unload, just to make sure that I'm getting a nice consistent draw every time. But now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint all these forward-facing scales, kind of like this. If you notice, a lot of the scales were a little overly pink, not that big of a deal. And we're just going to kind of follow the natural lines and wants of the model.
Okay.
Right? So we did a lot of the heavy lifting with the dry brushing. Follow it. Think of it as like we're tracing now.
Yeah, yeah. Like the higher, the scales that are meant to be higher values.
Correct.
Filling those in.
Correct.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do it this way. Yeah, and so we don't want every square millimeter of this being covered. We want some of the previous layer to be coming through, because we want to have a little bit more of a dynamic kind of color, almost like a color shift, if you will. But it just provides a little bit better of a blending without blending type result, because our eye just says, yep, that's the color, and it's slowly transitioning.
Yeah.
I would make sure to take extra care around his face and make sure that you're doing, nice, good, concerted, sharp details. Make sure those little eyeballs are on point.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give them yellow eyes.
That's a good idea. So this is, right now, we're at a pretty good point where we're like, cool, we've got a decent amount of, scrumph happening. So what are we thinking? Like this kind of yellow?
Probably, yeah.
All right, so I just pulled this out of the bag. This is where I might come in and put a little dab of yellow, and let's just plop it in there and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to spend a bunch of time on something that I'm not going to like. So let's see what it looks like with the surrounding colors. I'm all about testing the waters. I wonder if people can see that. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. I really like this.
Yeah.
It's really punchy.
Yeah, I'm probably going to end up doing it very similar to the Raptidon eyes, but like a yellow rim or whatever.
You're rimming them?
Yeah. yellow rim job.
So
Yeah, 'cause these guys
gross.
they're not quite. They're a little different.
Yeah.
I might try to do something like that. It's a smaller space though to work with, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
the nice thing is we got a decent amount of space to
We'll
work with.
see.
So I'll plop in some yellow while I'm doing all of this.
Yeah.
Just to see what's going on, right? What's the haps, right? So I'm a big believer in filling in extra little details from time to time. Actually, a buddy of mine, Derek,
Hey, go for it.
he very much is he actually pushes me a lot to, hey, fill in the extra details, even with just a quick little base coat so you can kind of start imagining it, right? Because right now everything is the same tone and the same color. So if you're unsure about what that saddle is going to be, you're like, well, I think I want to do it like a gold, or maybe I just want to do it brown. Even just putting a big stripe of that color in there just to kind of see what it's going to look like can be really helpful.
I've done that too because I'm like, God, this looks like shit. I need to feel better about this right now.
Right.
So I'm gonna put in this other color and it'll help.
And that's the point, right? You put in those extra colors, and then you now all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, you know what? I did make some pretty decent decisions here. This isn't bad.
I'm a good painter.
And then you can go, oh, whoa, that's not what I wanted at all. So cool. What are you down? 30 seconds of applying a coat of paint, right?
Right.
Let's put some little swings on his scales. And throughout this entire process, you can go back in there with a nice detail brush and come in and like panel line a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying on Carnosaur, is that what this one is?
Yeah.
Right? It's beautiful.
Oh.
Some of these little lines, though, need a little bit of a darker recess, right? So coming in from the ground up here, we're trying to mind that and keep all these little inner areas a little bit darker.
Yeah.
So we can achieve that more maximal contrast. Plus, you'll have more of that red showing through.
Right.
So even though this top part is going to be kind of this like pinkish, pale white kind of tone, because we have so much of the surrounding area red, our eyes and our brain is going to be like, does red.
Right.
And that's what we want. Hopefully my head's not in the shot.
No, you're good. Looks great.
Would you like my head to be in the shot, chat? And just... But yeah, so now it is really a matter of what it is you're trying to achieve. I, again, would lean into that forward-facing focus, like what we talked about on the head, the shoulders, those really fun things to kind of highlight where people are naturally going to draw their eyes to. And if you get stuff into the recesses, no biggie. You just go back in there. You get a little bit of that glaze in there. I just did that. The nice thing is with this detail brush is you can kind of come in there and just hit that one little spot.
Yeah.
Boom.
Cool. Oh yeah, that looks so nice.
We're getting that nice little fade and stuff. And the fun thing is we can continually do more.
Some yellow.
Yeah, go for it. Color integrate, right? And so one thing that goes really, really cool with all of this is its complement, right? So I have a phthalo green.
Nice.
I've got a Chimera phthalo green. So one of the things that we can do is you can get an ink with this, or you can do like a pure pigment phthalo green type thing. And what I'm going to do, I put just the smallest dot of that color, because this color is incredibly strong. So I'm going to put a bit of a pool of water and I'm going to drag it in here like this. It's very, very strong. Okay. And this I might recess shade in some areas to make it that much darker or more vibrant. So I'm thinking maybe like in this little area on his little wiggly tail.
Steel.
Go for it. Right? And we don't want to put this everywhere, but those downward facing areas. But look at how much of a separation we have now.
Looks great.
Right? His little like rib cage thingy, I might come in there. Now, you might be shouting at me and saying, Devin, that looks green.
Devin.
And that's correct. It does look green. But secret sauce, you go back into... Can we have some graphics with like pro tip and secret sauce where
I
it
do
just
need
starts
to
spinning
make
in?
those, yeah, with your little head.
This looks really green right now. And you are correct. It looks really green. I'm going to go back with my little glaze color and I'll put that on top and it becomes like a muddier, darker, reddish brown color. Okay? This is what we would say is a filter, right?
Yeah.
We're filtering over top of it so it doesn't look like it's green. It just looks like it's a very, very deep, dark red.
Yeah.
And this is where we can kind of go back and forth with all of this and we can pick and choose where we want that to be. And then having that little bit of like panel lining type deal, that dark lining.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard the term black lining.
Yeah.
Comes from like comic books and stuff. So I don't like to use the term black lining when teaching people because oftentimes they think, well, I'll just take black.
Right.
Black is valid, but to make it more interesting and a little bit
yeah.
cooler is dark lining, just a dark color. The Soup's talking shit.
Soups?
Devin just totally accidentally painting a really cool sunset motif on his hand. I am? Oh yeah, I guess I am.
Little sun, yeah. Is he talking shit? I don't know. What do you think? Does that count as talking shit?
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna give it a pass.
All right, we've like entered the home stretch of the stream, which is where we've turned our focus to you people.
Yeah.
So today's no different, and we have some lookbacks to do first before we do stuff you guys have been working on recently. So we're gonna jump into that.
Jump.
You guys inspire us. So this week we're focusing on Tactile Sun. We're doing a callback for Tactile Sun and Soy Sumer. This is over the past year. Last year we did this where, who was with us from the beginning of the channel. This is a focus on folks who've been posting for the last year.
Nice. Yeah. And this is their evolution of
This
stuff.
is a little bit of their evolution. Yeah,
oh, man.
It's really cool to see people
Keep
grow.
your first minis, by the way, or even the first photos. You can always look back on them.
Yeah.
These are awesome.
Soy Sumer has been doing did a lot of Stormcast. Then has been doing Lumineth, and my heart goes out to you, Soy. It sucks. And then there's also some Flesh Eater Quartz, and then I think he dabbled in that was the first one that Soy put in our server. Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of growth here. Oh, and then what's his face?
Usharon. Yeah, this is one of the later ones.
Yeah.
And then did some Seraphon as well.
Super cool.
Crazy amount.
Love the tile work too.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a great idea.
Soy is known for doing memes, but look, Soy can do other things too. Also, Tactile Sun. So Tactile Sun
that's awesome.
Joined our server last year and has been posting ever since. It's been really cool.
That's awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah. He always has these really nice, like, moody posts. He doesn't really do AOS, just does fun, like...
Just projects.
Other projects, other games, Reaper models, things like that. I love this pumpkin thing.
Oh my gosh.
This was one of my favorite models that Tactile Sun did.
New fear unlocked.
Yeah. But he does such fun little, like, models.
Yeah. Those are awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see the growth and the development. That's super cool.
Right? Yeah. That's one of my favorite things is going back and seeing how much you've like grown, even with like photo taking.
Yeah.
That evolves over time.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, this was Tactile Sun's first one.
I mean, even just getting a different phone, for example, and all of a sudden the camera's just that much better and stuff. It's that's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the feathers.
Bird wings from
Soy. This is Yggdrastra,
right? Sure. Yes.
She's an AOS model.
I don't know their names. I'm like the winged thing.
Winged lady.
With the guy
like
on
it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, so we're
really
going to do
like
this every week. We'll pick 2 more of you and we'll do a look back at your work. So thank you guys for sticking with us. Like at least a year, right? This cohort. And you guys add vibrancy to our channel. You guys inspire others, including us. And it's just really nice to see your work.
Super cool.
Thanks you guys for
I might
participating.
have to steal that little tile idea.
I know,
That's a
isn't
fun
it good?
idea.
It's like I think it's one of those rollers. Yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
That would make it so easy.
Yeah.
Just roll out a bunch of clay and...
That's what I think it is. You'll have to check with him.
Very cool.
Soy, get back to Devin in Discord when you see this. All right. But yeah, thanks you
Sorry,
guys.
Paul, you just nominated yourself.
I know, Polly. Polly, don't worry. I'd never pick you without somebody making me.
Well, I'm making you. He's next.
Okay, we're doing it. Should we just jump into normal fan stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. This is what you guys have been working on this week.
Tank.
Yeah, this is a Leal. And this is a tank. I don't know what kind of tank. I don't know if you know what this stuff's called, Devin. I never know what this stuff is called.
The thing is that like all of these tanks have such a big variance as to like depending upon the cannon that you put on, depending upon the whatever maneuvers, they're all called something different. It's a cool tank. That's all.
It is a cool tank, and I don't think they have bases anymore. I think that's a thing, right?
No.
Yeah.
I like when people put them on an appropriately sized base because it sets them into
helps,
the world
yeah.
a little bit. Yeah, I thought it was tactile. I think it is a Bane blade, but it's one of the shadow sword, shadow spear, what Malkador thing. I don't know. It depends on the variants and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, big
but
tank.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
Don't really see white tanks like this.
No.
Yeah. It's very striking. Okay, this is our friend Ted Kirkanos. So Ted is more of a player than a hobbyer. So whenever we get something from Ted, it's always like such a treat. So
Nice.
I'm happy to see Ted's work in here. He's got this cool like orange and blue scheme.
That's fun.
Clearly hanging out with us in Discord in the background. And oh man, I love those bases. I didn't even notice the base until now.
Yeah.
Ted was worried, or he was like bummed because you can see there's some like varnish bubbles in a few spots. I honestly barely noticed them.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're so in it
Yeah.
that you can see a lot of those things. It might not have been something that I might have noticed right off the top. But like one little thing with varnish, if you're using a spray can, shake it till your arm hurts, and then shake it for another minute. Is a really good tip.
Never stop.
Yeah, and then also keep all of your spray paint indoors. Because especially if you're in a colder area, it's going to kind of react a little bit differently. So that's like a nice little tip. And then light passes, like just dust it, with your varnishes and stuff like that. Those are some really helpful tips because I've been there before.
Yeah, totally. Thanks, Ted. It's good to see you painting.
Paint more.
This is Brad. This is our very own Brad.
I love the tree dreadnought.
Isn't it cool? This is
So
Strisha.
cool.
We saw her on stream, was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday. Yeah. She's super cool looking.
Cool. She's one of her and, is it Ilariel with the beetle?
Yes.
The one who's like...
I don't know their names.
I just, you know AOS more than I do. So
I know.
the chick on the beetle, the big beetle.
Sure.
I don't want to paint her, but I want to paint the beetle.
Yeah.
And then I want to paint the turtle for the Ideneth Deepkin.
Yeah.
But I don't want to paint anything else. I just want to paint the turtle.
Just the turtle, yeah.
And then she would be one that I would want to paint too. Cause she's really cool.
I do love the bug.
Yeah.
The big bug is super cool.
Super cool. Because
Nice.
I had an idea to do like some of those things with like those color shifting paints and stuff like that. Do like a slight iridescence.
Yeah. Let's see.
What with this angle?
This is...
There's some action in this angle.
Rathmore TV. And this was like a Pride
Yeah.
inspired group of models. There's more in the Discord if you guys want to check them out. But I love this one. What is that? A sword? A rainbow sword?
A chain sword.
Chain
yeah.
sword.
Think of a giant sword that
It's
has
like
also
a
a
chainsaw.
chainsaw.
Yeah, I can't see the chainsaw from here. This is not my fault, you guys.
You're fine.
Very cute.
I love the angle of it.
Yeah,
it
it's
adds
so
like a really
dynamic.
fun dynamic angle
Yeah.
to it. It's super cool.
Oh my god, good timing, Nightbot. Yeah, I love this so much. I've seen a bunch of Pride related stuff on Reddit too recently.
I don't really go on Reddit.
I go on Reddit.
Reddit's a little mean for me.
It is a little
Don't
mean.
tease me.
It is a little mean.
Yeah.
So I avoid those things. But
I like the creativity of it, right? Is that
Yeah.
they're taking essentially like if you boil it down to its simplest aspects, they're taking a color palette and they're applying it on a mini very creatively. And I'm always a huge fan of that kind of stuff.
yeah. This is super cool.
Yeah.
And it's
I love the
super
angle. That's my favorite.
on theme. Yeah. Oh look, it's Soups. Blood
Next.
Angel time. Next, yeah. Soups did another bike.
Now the Blood Angle bike.
Blood Angels, yeah.
You can be my angle anytime, Soups.
I wish Soups some feedback. I wish you would write like secret messages on these little badges.
Definitely. Here's a Pro tip, hide and smuggle little dicks everywhere.
Yes, dicks,
It's
more
always
dicks.
a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun to do. Especially on that, so do you know about those little, those oath papers?
Yeah,
Those
that they
seals?
burn up and they're
Well,
pointless.
they like all make like these little like purity seal oath paper things like
Yeah.
before battle, like,
Right.
you know, well, I promise I'm going to come back for you, buddy, kind of a thing. I just like the idea of one guy just trolling, being
Yeah.
like, I don't promise shit.
Yeah, dick.
And just trolling the squad.
Yeah. I love that. Oh yeah, very cool base too. Oh, is there a secret dick? Is there a secret dick in here?
On the back of the
Back
wheel.
wheel. What? I'm not.
I think he's trolling us.
He's messing with us.
I think he's
Go do
trolling
it in Discord. All right, this is Midgar.
So those guys are awesome.
Aren't they cool? They're so
the-
bright.
Like, they're just these giant, they took steroids. They're so cool.
Yeah.
The buff Seraphon, so cool.
Yeah. I love this color that Midgar has going
Yeah.
on. This has been like
It's a really punchy sky blue.
he's been working on this army for a while, chipping away at it, and it's
Super
always
cool.
cool to see another addition to
Love
it.
the base work.
Yeah.
Love the base work.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
They're
They really
cool.
feel like they're in their like their element or their world and stuff.
The jungle, yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So cool.
This is shoot. I'm blanking, so I gotta go find Fluke Skywalker. Yes.
Great name, by the way.
Yeah. Is this? I think this was all.
It's all like scatter terrain.
Is it Necromunda? Is it Warcry? I'm
Probably
totally,
Warcry.
or
It's a lot
Spearhead.
of, there's a lot of stone work in here.
I
so
should
it's,
know this,
It's
but I
definitely not
don't know
Necromunda.
anything. It's not Necromunda. You're right.
Yeah.
But anyway, somebody will tell me in
Yeah,
chat.
that's rad.
But yeah, like he's been chipping away at this too. Always cool to see people working on terrain. Rudy does terrain a lot, but this is
Super
a
cool.
really nice set.
I would love to play on that board.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I would rather I hate when people say like, oh, well, it's not that great or whatever. It's like, I would rather play with painted models, no matter the skill level,
Okay.
than a bunch of gray.
Yeah.
So when people put a bunch of love into the terrain too, it makes my
yeah.
heart
Enough
flutter.
love to make it pop. That's
Yeah.
really all you need for terrain, which this definitely is.
And they're well sculpted, so it doesn't really take a whole lot, which is
Yeah.
great, which is fantastic.
Oh,
Not done.
Madman.
Yeah, but I can't see anything.
Madman posted this in finished and was like, actually, these aren't done. So I thought we would just call him out. So Madman will feature it again when you're actually done.
I like the armigers. I like the blue and the orange
like,
complementary
I
string.
was like, oh, this is cool. And then he's like, it's not done. Okay, then I'm just going to troll him instead. I do love the purple base.
Yeah.
And orange and blue has been a big thing in our server right
Yeah.
now. Like, it's so on vogue right now.
Well, remember at Adepticon, Siri asked me like what color to get rid of, and I think I said orange.
Yeah.
I hate
Get rid
orange.
of orange.
I hate
yeah.
orange. It doesn't work for me.
This is Chef.
Yeah. Chef has been getting so good.
Right?
I'm more of a
He's
lurker
on it.
in the server.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I remember some of the first ones he was asking advice for, like they were like Nurgle guys.
yeah.
And I'm like seeing a lot more punchy color,
Yeah.
a lot bolder highlights. It's fantastic.
Chef really deserves better photography. Chef, we need you to take better pictures. Because your work is really good.
I put that little helpful
I
link
know,
in there,
I
peep
know.
it, yo.
Yeah. Nah, he's working on that too. He's
A lot of it is
he
controlling
cares.
light.
Like
yeah.
he really puts effort into trying to be better and stuff. Anyways, I think this is gorgeous. Look at the like rope or whatever this like cross stitch,
Yeah, like some sort of
thing.
like leather wrapping
Yeah,
and stuff
some
like
wrap,
that.
whatever.
What
It looks
I
so
like
nice.
is it's not, so I see a lot of people, they'll highlight it incorrectly. That's a correct way to do it
Yeah.
because it's a cylinder, right?
Yeah,
So it
right
looks like
across the middle.
it looks like a shaft.
It looks good.
Hmm.
Okay. This is Filippo.
Oh yeah, these are the blood letters, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
They're on bikes. No, they're
No.
not on bikes. They're on rhinos.
They're on demon rhinos. Yeah.
Yeah, these are great. Filippo always has these like very dark, contrasty
Yeah, but then they have
photos.
this just bitch and sword.
Yeah, and then like your eye just is like, bam, this
Yeah.
is what I'm meant to look at.
Yeah,
And
you
it's those
can tell like
swords.
he's like, this is what I thought was the most fun.
Yeah.
Look here, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, super cool. I think
Love
they're
it.
called
Juggernaut.
skull crushers
Okay.
or juggernaut. Yeah,
I
juggernauts.
don't know. Skull
It's been a
skull
minute.
jugger fuckers, something like that. Thank you, Filippo.
All right. I think someone's going to get hired for the naming convention at GW.
This is Voodoo Fairy. Voodoo is some fun stuff.
What model is this?
You know, I forget.
It's fun. He's like part elephant.
He'll tell us. He'll tell us in chat. I totally forget. Oh my god! I just realized there's mushrooms growing out of his chest. What a funny model.
I like his arm. It's got like a galactic kind of speckle thingy or whatever.
Yeah. The painting style is really soft.
It is.
It's super soft and subtle. It's really pretty.
It's a baby troll.
It's a baby troll. Is it a baby troll from AOS or is it like a third party? That's what I'm blanking on that. Because he does a lot of cool third party stuff, so I never know.
Yeah, I like the, he went with very animalistic.
Underworlds, okay.
He went
Thanks,
the animalistic in that they got like the lighter underbellies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it kind of gets into a little bit darker and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that little speckle.
It's cute.
Yeah, he's got little intergalactic freckles or whatever.
Yeah. Cool color scheme too. It's super muted. Sweet. Like it goes from super muted to like kind of punchy, that green, and there's a bit of the purple. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's really neat. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Spider Boy.
I saw this and I was like, is this Haiti? Because Haiti's obsessed with spiders, but Haiti's got a different project going on. I'm trying to find whose this is, and I'm failing. Is this... Oh yeah, Colonel Panic. Colonel Panic. I gasped when I saw this.
It's like that coconut crab thing. It's so cool.
Yeah.
This is the one of the spiders that like it goes with a goblin army or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Zach has this army, the Arachnaroks.
So cool.
I knew this one. I love this color scheme. I love the speckle effect they're going for.
It definitely has like a stay away on venomous kind of vibe to it. So that's cool.
Look at all the baby spiders. They're so cute. They're the same colors. Yeah, this is a really cool model.
Yeah, the little pools on the base are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Again, it's like an environmental storytelling, and like you tell, hey, they're in this world.
For sure.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, love this one. Okay, this is Dissonance Cogs. That's right.
That's a really pale, desaturated bone kind of color.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's so pretty. I actually really appreciate this approach to the armor. I'm like, oh, I should have done it that way. I keep like seeing things like, oh, I should have done this different, better.
It's simplistic.
So pretty, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, people often think like,
rock.
People think simple means bad. No, simple just means not complicated, right? Like, this is a very
Lumineth
simple.
are complicated enough.
Right, exactly. I did Thousand Suns, which has tons of trim and stuff like that. So like, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, Meg. I love this.
No, that's rad.
Beautiful.
And then all the little flowers.
Yeah.
They're like they almost kind of look like cherry blossoms or something like that. Yeah. That's cool. Great work on that one.
It's gorgeous. Okay, Tactile Sun.
What is this?
I don't know, but this character reminds me of, I think is his name Brian? In American Dad, there's like a little alien.
Yeah, the alien. Yeah. The effeminate alien.
Yeah. That's what this reminded me of.
The first thing that came off the dome on this is, show my age on this, is Toe Jam and Earl.
Okay.
From the Super Nintendo. And look up Toe Jam and Earl if you don't know what I'm talking about, and you'll see exactly what I mean with all of that. Okay. These two little aliens. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It was like somebody like did way too much coke and said like we need to compete with the Mario Brothers, and so they came out with Toe Jam and Earl and yo.
They didn't Goldilocks their coke, and that's what you got at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is super cool, Tactile Sun. Thanks. Who's this? This is, go for it.
My jam. That's Cad Bane. He's one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe. He's so cool.
I was like, I think this is a Star Wars. This is Boomstick.
Yeah, so this is, I believe this is Shatterpoint.
Yeah. Okay.
So I
robot.
love these guys because they're slightly bigger than like the 32 millimeter scale. So they're a little bit more realistically sculpted, and they're so much fun to paint. They paint themselves. They're so cool.
Yeah. I don't think I've painted a Shatterpoint, have I? I might have painted one once. Anyway, but oh, I love this like bat boy and this robot in the back.
Yeah.
What is that? Why? Why is there a bat boy?
Here we go. Nerd hat going on. In the Clone Wars television show, Cad Bane is a bounty hunter.
Oh,
and all these guys are bounty hunters, but they all basically kind of like a motley crew get together to basically break into the Jedi Temple and stuff.
Okay.
And he is voiced by Seth Green.
Oh.
And he helps basically cut into like, the ventilation shaft, and then they break in and stuff like that. It's really, really cool.
Holy shit, look at this duffel bag.
Yeah,
I just saw that.
They're
That's
stealing
beautiful.
the holocron and stuff like that. So
beautiful.
yeah. I want this set just for Cad Bane.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a bit of an irresponsible
They're cute.
purchase.
I know. Aren't they all? This is Cody. Guys.
That's an ambitious project.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah. So cool.
I love the patterning. Guys, Cody is teaching a class for the mandrels right after this. Yeah.
So cool.
Get a look into his style of painting. So if you're a mandrel, or you're a current top talker and top texter in our Discord, you can go check this class out right after the hobby hang. It is at 12:30, so about half hour. It gives you time for food and a pee break or something. But it's a demo and workshop, so bring something fun you want to paint along with, and Cody will give you an overview on his approach.
Super cool. Well, I mean,
oops, that's not the right button.
PVA glue. Good job on teaching some classes. That's really cool. I think there needs to be a lot more people that need to kind of get into teaching, because I think part of a big thing in like learning and growing is with reinforcement is to teach.
Yeah.
Even if it's just something really simple, like, hey, this is how I do this particular thing, that helps reinforce those lessons and stuff like that. And plus, you're you, right? No one's going to paint really like you. So, yeah, spread that kind of hobby love, man.
Yeah.
Also, ambitious, man. I'm going with the black and the white.
I know.
For the diamond pattern.
Yeah. Cool. Looking forward to your class also, Cody. Yeah. Bye, John. All right. Project of the week. This is Wrecker. Wrecker is newish to the server. Has been working on this like diorama for a bit.
I can see.
It's super cool. Like,
yeah.
Got to see like where he started, right? When he was building it and putting it together. And yeah, here it is. So he's
super
all done.
Cool.
Yeah. I love the messy base so much.
Well, you can see like the flag that's down. Like obviously some shit happened, and so they're trying to like, there's like that last stand, and then this is here's another fun part of the storytelling. The guy on the back right, he's covering the flank.
He's watching,
He's making sure that like, hey, you guys are all we're covered and safe and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a fun little diorama. I can't remember if he's using this to play with or if it's simply just like a fun
project.
Piece, to have.
By the way, there's nothing wrong with doing a fun project for no reason other than itself.
So true. Yeah.
That's all I do.
I really do like this. So, Wrecker, you got project of the week. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing your work in progress. That always helps. Quite a bit.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, love it.
I'm a big fan of storytelling. Big fan of storytelling.
Yeah. I was going to say, let's check and see where you're at for now.
Yeah.
Before we do our last bit, which is about hobby bingo.
Bingo. Yeah. So, essentially, what I've done, let me make sure this is clean, is from green. About here up, I've been highlighting and I've been adding in that white. You can feel free to add any of these additional layers that we've been making in here. Some of these areas might be a little bit too reddish for you. Well, that's okay. We can kind of come back in here into these back areas, and we can just kind of touch some of these little scales here and there that might be a little too reddish. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, all we're doing is we're just driving focus a little bit. And you notice I'm not going in there and I'm not highlighting anything.
Yeah.
Because if I wanted to, I'd come in there with that nice stark, like kind of off gray white, and I could come in here and highlight these lower edges of these scales. But ain't nobody got time for that, right?
It's true.
Now, I will say, if you say I want to do this, your painting will only be elevated, right? it will be worth the time. But you got 4 of these to paint, 6 of these to paint.
6.
So you're probably
We'll
not
see.
wanting to highlight anything other than just the face. So little tip here then.
I feel so validated.
Yeah, I do that all the time. It really what it is it's a lot of making smart decisions in the early stages, so you don't have to do as much in that regard.
Yeah.
So for his face, he's got these little like, I don't know what they are. His eyebrows are on fleek. So eyebrows. I'm just gonna very lightly hit these edges right here, and I'll come in and I will highlight, like edge highlight these lines.
Yeah.
Because I want to draw attention to them, right? I will do the under portion of his eye. Again, I want to draw attention to it. I'm going to do his little mouth.
I was like, wait, what? What's a mouth? I'm like, oh,
I was quoting the way Dane Cook speaks.
Dane Cook. Wow.
The comedian from like 2006
Not thought about
whatever.
him in a long time.
His mouth. Yeah, so I'll highlight the bottom layer too. Again, just calling a little bit of attention. I'll highlight his little nose. I'll boop his snoot. And yeah, so this is where I'm going to kind of put more of my edge highlighting focus on, is his dome. I'll put maybe a little bit more on his neck because it's a little too red for my liking. But yeah, so now we've got a little bit more of a clear kind of highlight going on in here and stuff like that.
Good.
And then I always have some sort of secret sauce. That phthalo green, like that really, really dark green for those kind of dark lining. And then honestly, just a punchy red ink. Conservatively, because this is really, really strong, this is where you can kind of put into some areas where maybe you kind of lost the plot a little bit. It's a little muddy here and there.
Yeah.
Where you can reinforce it with a really punchy red ink, as you know, your heart desires. But yeah, I mean, this is really now we're in season to taste,
We're
right?
in like the home stretch, yeah.
Right, exactly. And now you may be doing something like this and maybe looking and go, well, hey, parts of this stuff maybe look a little off or whatever. Honestly, a good clear coat varnish can help kind of unify things a little bit more. But yeah, that's kind of scales, right? And you can apply this to any big portion of a model. It doesn't have to be scales specifically. If it's just you got a ton of the fur or something like that, right? All right, we're going to start with the fur, and we can do it the same kind of way. We do that dry brushing type method with a lot of stippling. We go back and forth with our washes and our glazes, and we can get some pretty good effects. And if you look at this side, this is the back side, it's not as highlighted.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's quite a bit more highlighted because that's a little bit more of his focus point.
Cool.
But yeah, put that right on the
Here,
X.
I'll give you mine so you can let me know where you think I need.
Yours is more fun because he's roaring.
Oh yeah, I have a better face.
Yeah, you definitely do. This is so cool. I mean, they look like they belong.
Great, yeah.
They look like they belong together. Let's see the back sides.
They do belong together.
They do hunt in herds.
Yeah. I still need to finish some of my
Yeah, that
scales,
looks really good.
but
I mean, this guy's just got a little bit more white on the top.
Yeah.
This guy's has a little bit less. That's okay.
I love it. Cool.
And what I like is that there's a lot. It's a very dynamic kind of shading and things like that.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I really like it.
Super cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go back in and do more of the panel or the black lining, dark lining.
Yeah.
And highlight up more of the scales.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll talk about what we're gonna do next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. There's yours.
Thanks. Yeah, don't touch. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
my bad.
Oh wait, they're both.
Oh, all of a sudden you got all these subscribers and now pinky out.
Okay, guys. Last thing today to talk about is hobby bingo.
That's a bingo.
We have a very special hobby bingo happening now. It's a summer bingo. Extraordinaire, I guess. That's Liberty right there with the popsicle. He's running this, and Zach's helping him out. But we are starting over with new cards. You still, if you have an existing card, keep working away at it. But there is a new card specifically for this event where you can win prizes. So go to Hobby Bingo. There's a pinned link. Check the pins. Sorry.
Check the pins.
Yeah, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. Check the pins. Generate a new card for yourself. And then you're going to enter, as you finish it, you'll enter to win prizes. So just by starting your card, just by getting a card, posting it, that's your free entry. Okay.
It's freaking easy.
Yeah. No
excuses.
No payments to us to enter. So, we're covered legally. And every time you complete a square, that's an entry. Every time you complete a bingo line, that's an entry. And every time you complete a whole card, that's 10 extra entries.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So get to work.
Yeah.
We will select winners throughout the summer, specifically for your summer bingo card. In the meantime, you can also, make sure you're posting your progress in our channel, and we'll show off what you're working on stream like we're about to. And then as you go, you can still earn badges. So this is for either card, right? You'll still get your badges for your bingo line, your 6 bingo lines, your full board. That's fine. None of that has changed. But we did add in this new board just for this crazy event, where Liberty is being really angry for some reason. But here's what we've had this week. Aggressive, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Soups with his Croxagores. OBR. Polly's got some OBR work he's been working on. Chef has some Skaven.
That is disgusting.
I love the skin. Oh my God. And then Saul has some, what are they? We're calling them frost letters now, I think, right? Yeah.
Super cool.
So a lot of bingo happening. And summer bingo is just kicking off. So hopefully we see some stuff from you guys.
Super cool. Love the blades. And that disgusting skin of like a rat king.
It's so good.
It's so gross, but in the best possible way.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Oh my gosh. Devin, thank you.
Always a pleasure.
It's been so fun.
Always a pleasure.
We'll talk after the stream about what we're going to work on next.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then thank you, Mandrels. Thank you. You guys have a class coming up at 12:30, so don't miss that. That's in our Discord with Cody, who's in chat right now. I'm like, chat's over there, but also kind of over there, just wherever. Class. And then thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you for just hanging out.
Thank you.
Going, yeah. Do you want to take us out or do you want me to do it?
I don't know the words to take us out.
Because it's kind of fun to just make something up. But be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, always be creating. Bye.
Bye.